Plug yourself into the machine. Become one. Become Apple's new icon. DNA straight to the screen.
Hey guys, welcome back to Floyd's Vintage Guitars. Well, before we carry on, I'd just like to say, please subscribe to the channel, please like this video, please share it if you like the video, and all those wonderful things. Well, moving right on, a couple of weeks ago, I did a video on what I called my favorite amp of probably all time, and definitely, in my opinion, probably the best, for my uses, the best Marshall amp that I have. And that was a 1969 Marshall Super Bass. But right up there, neck and neck, I promise you, is this little beauty right over there. That is a Marshall early 70s 50 watt Super Lead. And the way I would equate the one to the other is the Super Bass for me is huge, bassy, and doesn't quite cut through. This one, this to me is ZZ Top, early brown sound, just glorious overdrive, and you're gonna cut through, and you're gonna kill people in just it's a 50 watt, but I promise you guys, it is loud as hell. It is unbelievable. It's a monster, and that's why I love it. So there you go, guys. What an amp. I mean, if If I had the words to describe to you what that amp sounds like in this little, I'm deaf now, I'm sorry, in this little studio that I've got at home here, it's earth-shattering. I promise you, every cupboard in this room, every guitar is rattling, all the other amps' valves are falling out because of the rattle. It's unbelievable, okay? My neighbors, if I don't get a call from one of my neighbors or the cops knock at my door in the next few minutes, I'll be very surprised, because it was extraordinarily loud. And this, once again, is the 50 watt. And so this particular 50 watt, so I've got my 100 watts super bass, I've got a 100 watt super lead, and then this is the 50 watts super lead, as I've said in the past about 15 times in this video already. What I did with this one is I got my amp tech to add on the back, there's a little knob, a little volume switch, which basically is a Marshall master volume. Now, most of the time I don't use it, but very often I do use it. And here's why. If I want a big, huge Marshall sound with no distortion, I will go for my super bass all day long, because it's never going to give away. I could play 5 guitars through that amp and it's just going to be smiling. It's like running a V8 at 15 miles an hour. It's not even being used. You might as well walk, you know. Whereas with the 50 watt, when I'm using that amp, I want the grind. I want the amp in overdrive. That's why that one's there. I want that tube distortion. I want that Marshall golden brown sound that comes from a Marshall that is being pushed. Now, the reality is, most of us don't actually get the opportunity to play gigs where you can push an amp like this. Like I said, I've just played it on about 5 or 6, and I wouldn't be surprised if I've caused damage to the foundations of this house. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. This whole room is shaking, windows were shaking. I've probably aged a few days. I'm certainly deaf. But honestly, guys, with the master volume, I don't use it a lot. I will say if it's on 0 and it's not being used at all, it gets cut out of the circuit completely. If I put it on, say, 4, and then I push the master volume on the actual front of the amp, I start getting that golden brown, beautiful saturation, which only an amp like this being pushed can give you. And I promise you, it is special. So there you go, guys. If each amp to me has got its function, you know, and when I want something that is going to be clean and I can play bass through it and I can handle everything, I'm going with a big bay, right? But if I want that Marshall tone that everybody wants, that sweet spot of Marshall, that only a Marshall in that sweet spot can give you, I'm taking that one. And I'm using that master volume a little bit, because without it, I would never be able to get to that sweet spot, to be honest. Not without being fired. So there you go, guys. Like I said, please share, please like, please comment. Let me know what you think of your Marshalls. Let me know which you prefer out of the 2 videos. The big bear or the not so big bear, but still big enough bear to tear your head straight off. Cheers, guys.
Plug yourself into the machine. Become one. Become Apple's new icon. DNA straight to the screen.